Hello, and welcome back to more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Yeah, I'm kind of sad because, Kiyotaka's dead now, so I won't be able to hang out with him in the same way. Hifumi. So yeah, those two are gone. And sadly, we've yet to hang out with them, so that's a thing. Now, we do got some new techniques, like breathing technique. The focus gauge recovers more quickly. Effective during the non-stop debate, the Hangman's Gambit, and bullet time. That seems very useful. We got plenty of SP too to use all these skills, so there's no shortage there. Completely steadies your aim. Oh, that's useful, but I think we have more, don't we? Or possibly not. I don't remember how many I have at the moment. Yeah, just those ones. Luckily, I'll be able to hang out with Sakura one more time and hopefully finish off what we have going. But yeah, we'll get all those. Not a whole ton of skills, but we'll make do. And let's just start. Trial is now in session!
Let's begin with a basic. If you can fit.
Yeah, we know.
Who did it? Now, then.
Somebody in the group!
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't. Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
I think we shouldn't jump to conclusions here. We figured out these aren't always what they seem.
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it.
Like, at this point, after, Sayaka's case, I can't assume that, this might not be a trap. That's the problem here.
And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know.
Is Hiro really the killer, or... Before anything else, we have to make that clear. We have to make absolutely sure, because if we pick the wrong person, we're screwed! Yasuhiro's message, alrighty.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are...
But we didn't find Yasuhiro's message there. That could be it.
I don't know anything about that.
I just gotta figure out how to use this again.
True, it's a conspiracy.
It's been a while since our last debate.
Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
Alright, there's only one there.
Everything we found in your room.
That's like the only thing we can shoot at. Or not. Wow, we got completely screwed over. That was stupid of me.
Everything we found in your room.
What's that? Oh, memory thing.
The suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
No, that's not what I want to do.
I don't know anything about that stuff.
Now, how do I fast forward?
True, it's a conspiracy.
I don't remember how to fast forward. Oh, there we go.
Hold on a second!
Well, there's only two there, so obviously it's the other one.
Everything we found in the blueprints.
The suit parts.
Oh, please don't hit that. Thank you!
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared.
Ah, yes, I see now. His handwriting's really neat.
The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So even he admits he's not the brightest tool in the shed. Or brightest bulb in the socket, I guess.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
It's a possibility.
He's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
Then who was in that Robo Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Well, that'd be nice if I knew. And of course he passes it off to me.
So? Who was in the Robo Justice suit?
The suspicious individual in question, the one that must have been in the suit. The Illuminati? Really? I'm doing it. That's right, they're all working behind the scenes to try and set me up. Those dudes are super scary for serious.
Shoot!
Yeah, I figured as much. I just wanted to see him say something. Is not Hina. How the hell would Hina fit in?
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been.
Well, we know Hina can't fit in a suit 'cause she proved it to everybody.
Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
This one we know. Taka's is quite obvious. The one in question here is Hifume's, because he's so freaking large.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
This one I can. No problem. It must have been, there was the blue tarp and the repository dolly. I guess I'll just submit that for now. I figure each would work. There's still one more thing. The things that were used to move Taka's body. It must have been, like I said, the blue tarp and the repository doll. Or dolly.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with that attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right?
Yeah, that's about what we think.
But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
God damn it!
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Well, screw you too. Whoa, I never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. But maybe I can change your mind. I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. A new element has been added to the bullet time battle. Yes, absolutely. Talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. Oh, god damn it! From now on, just locking on and pressing the triangle button won't be enough to handle them. That will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the square button. You can also reload by tapping the bottom left section of the screen. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the square button in time with the tempo marker. Or simply tap the screen. Yes, this is Vita TV, by the way, so that's not happening. Basically, just remember that square button now has a function along with the X and triangle buttons. Of course. Oh wait, what did it say about crap? Oh, we're not sent to gentle, so we'll have to reload. We might have some trouble. Maybe just a bit. A moment of truth. Ah, shiz.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree.
Boom.
You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch.
I'm bobbing my head to this. It's so good.
You are a fool. Do your worst. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst.
Hey, not doing it. I got you cornered, Celeste.
Cannot agree.
This should prove it.
I will prove you wrong beyond all doubts. Somehow, that is.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Proven wrong. Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
The main course?
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
Really? I don't think that's the issue here.
I'm not sure that really matters.
Yeah, Sakura's right, it doesn't.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Oh, right. Remember, guys and gals and meisters, it can't bend at the waist. If I look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it, because they'd have to bend down to actually touch that dolly. What does he mean by that? Right, I know what this will be. Robo Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Yeah, we know that much.
From there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
And that's the problem. He can't bend over. You made that quite obvious.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you can get anywhere in this thing. She looks so silly. I'm telling you, it wasn't me! And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
That does make sense, Nagi, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance that the costume was taken off just to move the body because you can't take it off by yourself. You can never take it off. No, that's not it. This is.
I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help here. Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make the stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. You don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hiro wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice?
Well, yeah.
If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that?
Well, the only thing that makes sense is that there were two suits.
Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
Right. How did you get hurt? That guy hit me! What guy? Robo Justice! That's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individuals inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
But that doesn't explain how the murders were happening so sporadically, though, either. That's why I'm a little confused here.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion.
I agree, this game's all about being what you would least expect. Not pursuing the obvious.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself.
I just want to say, Sagura's voice actor is freaking awesome.
We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up. So we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office,
What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
and then...
Huh? What was that? I came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi! He's in the nurse's office! This is bad. Come on, we gotta go back!
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared!
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening! Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation.
Well, it seems logical.
And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth about this case, I have to find them no matter what. And welcome back. I probably should start saying welcome back to Interrupts in Zendrol, since we get interrupted so much. But in order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. Alrighty. Is it another? Yeah, it's another argument. Now, I'm not gonna rush things. I didn't listen to it all the way through last time, which is what screwed me up.
Before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
The big problem we're having here is our evidence doesn't really fit. Now that I mention it, I did just remember I can use the triangle button to memorize statements. Right. Maybe that would help. The Justice Hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order? That's the thing. Doesn't mean they were. So what we're gonna try and do here is... I think we have to grab the second one, possibly?
Because of the numbering.
Because that would make sense. Because the numbering doesn't necessarily mean that they were used in that order. So we don't know what that order is.
Regarding, I wonder if he does perhaps it was after. We already know
What order they were killed?
What order? What color?
It's wrong.
Or a certain one.
There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Proof? Okay, we got plenty of proof. Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time he must have died. Well, that broken wristwatch is probably a clue here. That or the, the note with the numbering on it. Yeah, it's definitely wristwatch. Wait, no, we don't need another R. That was stupid of me. hey, Rune, you need another R. No, I don't. Oh, I needed that I, but it's like, nope. You don't need no I, son. And no, get back your eye. Okay. No, come on. I keep looking at the game screen so it gets delayed and it's like, no. So used to PC records. Oh, like, give me that S. That S. Wrist. Now we need another W. Get back here, W. Watch. Where's an A? Come on. We need that C. Now where's my H? Come on, bring me that H. There we go.
Now I understand.
This is why I like doing these all in one sitting, so I remember everything.
Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
Hey, you! How long were you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It always screws me up. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us.
We should have noticed it with the evidence. That's why I was like, I think we know what it is.
We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder.
But not Hifumi's.
But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Overly dramatic death. Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
You gotta see Hiro making assumptions without any proof, actually. Or statements without any proof. Huh. Well, he did say he wasn't very smart.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
You're gonna finally tell us where you were?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
Yeah, that's like lifting a building. No offense meant to the poor Hifumi. He's so awesome.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
He could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then, the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What are you getting at, Kyoko?
What? How? If the dead body were to move itself.
What? Huh?
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
No, that actually makes sense now, because I'm pretty sure we all remember when he miraculously came back to life.
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Probably hemorrhaging in the brain, huh? Poor guy was dying.
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive. Is it really possible? Could very well be possible. As I said, he was able to like wake back up and say exactly what happened. Alright, not what happened, he was able to tell us, Yasuhiro!
Hifumi in the nurse's office. There's a chance he was actually still alive.
No, it is impossible.
What are we using the broken wristwatch for? He's dead without a doubt, but how?
And that is why
The announcement. We really maybe the announcement
Was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Discovery. I actually thought that myself. I'm sure the body discovery announcement was only made once, but Hifumi and Taka's bodies were discovered at almost exactly the same time.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No.
Maybe we'll take that or not.
Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Along with Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that...
It wasn't Hifume's dead body.
Are we really so sure? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Actually, that's probably what I needed. Someone else's discovery, not Hifumi's.
Are you saying that when we...
I hope I can get rid of that. Okay, he was. We can get rid of it. Good.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery of Hifumi's
dead body had been found.
that is why the announcement...
Are you really so sure? Maybe the announcement
was intended to signal
someone
Give me this.
discovery.
I'm not sure if we actually have to do this, but I'm hoping we do.
Saying that when we first found there's a chance he was at... No. Because if Hifumi was dead...
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement, along with Hifumi's dead
body had been found.
Ah, I was right. Good. My intuition is working today.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
Nah, you wouldn't do that.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
So it's only safe to assume that it was two different bodies. The second body discovery announcement. The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office in the equipment room. And the second time was when... just after Hifumi came back to life. Were rediscovered when Taka was found unconscious. Maybe? No, that's wrong. Durr. Really wrong. So wrong. All wrong. Well, it wasn't just after he came back to life, because he'd already died when they were rediscovered. That's what I was thinking, and I second-guessed myself.
Time in the repository, when we rediscovered the two bodies.
A body has been discovered! After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the question will begin!
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know!
Yep, we know exactly what it is.
Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
Nope, Big Mac says you're wrong, Jill.
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Oh, I didn't think it was going to be another debate. Well, whatever then. Okay, it's going to be Hifumi's glasses like I thought.
There's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office.
Indeed.
And when? While me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Actually, there was. His glasses were cleaned.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
The evidence I found in the trash can of the nurse's office was that cleaning cloth, if we can find it. Yep.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean, and the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Human Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
Wow, she has a great memory despite what she says.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I mean, despite how she acts, because she can be a little ditzy sometimes.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Of course not.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... what exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see.
Interruption Central strikes again.
Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
I remember certain something else that might explain all the blood.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. So he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot.
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Hifumi, but why? I'm not Taka himself or Sakura. Hifumi. But why is the question?
Only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, The drawer was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
So it's all coming together now.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it. If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Leave it to good old average Makoto. Yeah, we know what it is. Last I checked, the one we took off... Was it Hifume's or... No, it was Hifume's body, she was saying. Yep. Well, let's find that wad of paper, shall we?
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his
Yep.
pants?
Yes, his pants.
No way Sakura says that. Like, ugh.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else. For now, let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been...
Me! Taka! Hifumi's pants! Why would they even bother putting that in there? Well, it's Taka.
I got it! That's right! Taka!
Explains why he had a ripped piece of paper in his hand.
The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection!
Oh, why?
I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Oh my god, these nicknames are so good sometimes from her.
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still. Big Mac. I can't let her get to me. You pretty much just did, almost. Don't let her get to me, don't let her get to me! She gets to everybody. Fumi's glasses, glasses cleaning cloth, and the broken wristwatch.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
I didn't mean to shoot
What
that.
the note said.
So much harder now.
6 a.m. The time doesn't matter! This has nothing to do with TikTok!
Do with TikTok. It does, though. The time on the note said 6 a.m. What happened at 6 a.m.? That's what I need to clear up. That's probably... Oh, jeez. Okay. This is what we need.
But remember what the note...
What time did it say to 6 a.m.?
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to
Do with TikTok!
Well, yes it does. That broken wristwatch had to have been broken somehow. Took me a minute, but I figured it out.
There absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered.